So, what we see here, once again, easy story. We see another black coach getting fired after one season of coaching. Now, Antonio Pierce, he had 1.5. He really didn't have any opportunity to really develop a team or player. But you're looking at uh, uh, Jared Mayo, who I don't know how to explain that. I mean, it was almost like it's your one chance. Jared Mayo had one chance, one opportunity, one chance, which is everyone's like, well, he did really bad. Well, look what you gave him. You had a weak draft with Drake May, um, with Drake May. You had a weak draft. You're changing from the best coach ever to play to one of the best coaches ever to coach football. Aside, Andy Reid, depending on how his career ends, Andy Reid may claim that title. But one of the best coaches to ever coach football, and then you have, an interim, a new head coach that you want to come in, and you're saying that it's messing up. First of all, he has to come in and play to that level. Now, Bill Belichick, his last 2 years were awful. Let's just put it like that. Belichick's last 2 years are awful. The brand that you had with Belichick, the brand that you branded you with Belichick, was not there. Right at the last two seasons, there was a fall off, but then now you're leaving. You're changing. Okay, these are Belichick's guys. You have a guy that's homegrown in your program, played for your team, right? Coach for your team, and then now you're saying, hey, look, after 1 year, it's not enough. Like, it's not the toughest thing that Robert Kraft has to do. He doesn't care. Robert Kraft is heartless. He doesn't care. And the same thing happened to Antonio Pierce. One opportunity and done. Now, you may look at me and say, oh, okay, like I can't take credit from this graphic, but you can tell. So basically, over the last 10 years, these are the black coaches that have been hired: Todd Bowles, Hugh Jackson, Vance Joseph, Anthony Lynn, Steve Wilkes, Brian Flores. In 2020, no, none. David Culley, Mike McDaniel. That's interesting. Is Mike? I think Mike McDaniel's like half and half. Is Mike McDaniel? Is I think he's like I think Mike McDaniel. Yeah, Mike McDaniel is actually like biracial. This is crazy. It's crazy. I think I saw this. Like his mother or Mike McDaniel. Like I think. Yeah. Yeah, his dad. So Mike McDaniel's dad is black. If you look at him, you don't. I hate to say it, you really don't see a black guy. That's why Mike McDaniel's really had that opportunity for that that time period. But 2002, Lovie Smith for the Texans, Todd Bowles, D'Amico Ryans, and then 2023, and then Antonio Pierce, Jeremy Mayo, and then Raheem Morris, of course, in 2024. Now, if you look at this, the last 10 years, this is how many coaches black coaches that have been hired. Now, if you look at the white coaches that have been hired in the last 10 years, right? This is a huge list, right? And two of them had the interim tag removed. If you look at 2024, Jim Harbaugh, Brian Callahan, which the Titans look awful, Mike McDaniel, and Dan Quinn. So you can see like how many white coaches have been hired. Now, look at how many one and dones in the last 10 years. One opportunity, and that's it. So Jim Tamusa, Chip Kelly, Freddie Kitchens, Mayo, Nathaniel Hackett, and Frank Wright. Then black coaches, so that's 6 out of 53, which is 11%. So at 11% firing rate, that you're going to let go of a white coach after 1 year. And most of these coaches, Chip Kelly, Urban Meyer, came from college. Freddie Kitchens with the Browns, Nathaniel Hackett, Frank Wright with the Colts. That was pretty rough situation. Then you got Steve Wilkes, David Culley, Lovie Smith, Jared Merrill, and Antonio Pierce. Now, we're not going to talk about Brian Flores, but black coaches get fired at a higher rate when it comes to one and done than white coaches. Now, this is not something new, but it is something that we start to look at when it comes to, when it comes to the headman of the team, the standard or the expectation or the risk that owners feel when it comes to a black coach. It's a challenge. No matter, like Lovie Smith, a guy who, has a reputation that who can build a team. You know, we're looking at you're looking at firing him after 1 year. Then you're looking at David Culley. Like two of these teams were for the Browns, right? Lovie Smith, David Culley, Steve Wilkes got a raw deal, and then Antonio Pierce and Jared Mayo most recently. Teams and I don't. How can I say this? Do I think these teams are using black coaches specifically as a kind of a clean out year, like a rebuilding year, right? We want you to tank. I personally think Jared Mayo got fired because they said, "Hey, look, we want you to lose so we can get a high pick," and he won that last game, and now they have like 6 or 7 picks, right? So black coaches, yes, are always looked at as the scapegoat for a franchise to start over, and then you bring some white guy in to say, "Hey, look, we're gonna bring a white guy in to come." Because I think they're thinking about bringing Mike Vrabel back as the head coach, and then yeah, I think that's what they're talking. I know they said they're gonna interview everybody. Local media personally lists reasons Pats should not hire Mike Vrabel. But I mean, I don't think that. I mean, Josh McDaniel, Mike Vrabel. Like, do you go with somebody you know, or you go with somebody that you knew? Go with somebody that you don't know, or somebody that's new. Personally for me, like, it is challenging to see black coaches really be on a short lease, right? Have not had the opportunity, and it's something consistently we see in the NBA, in the NFL, and it's something that, hey, to be honest with you, it's not really. I mean, we hope it changes, but we don't see it change anytime soon. The owner for the New England Patriots, his son is they say is not, but is involved in team operations. He's going to be the heir to it essentially when Robert Kraft, passes that to the next person. So you look at New York Giants. The New York Giants kept Brian DeBall and Joe Schoen, whatever his name is, out of pride. It was, hey, we can make it work with these two guys. So they're going to do the best they can to make it work with these two guys. Because if they do that, after everything that comes out, it makes it look like Saquon was right. Saquon can't be right. Saquon can't win. He can't, because the Giants ownership doesn't want him to get a moral, any type of victory. The victory the Giants get is, hey, look, we let go of Saquon. Y'all can have him. We're going to be all right with our guys. Right? That's the mentality. It's like, hey, don't let them know that they got to you. You can go to the grave with that and fail for the rest of the year and not realize, hey, these two guys, especially Brian DeBall, he needs to be gone. He's a horrible head coach. I don't understand why they even picked him over Brian Flores and what they did, but there's going to be consequences for that. So I go on to say that because black coaches typically don't get the opportunities that white coaches do, and they do. They're on a short lease. But it's a pride thing that people have more than giving a black coach an opportunity. And if they don't win after one season, we already know what's going to fly, right? People are already going to doubt a black coach. They're already going to doubt a black man as a head man in the NFL, mainly for that reason. So, do I see change? I hope there's change. The best thing for black coaches, and this is tough, do you walk into a situation where you know you can't win, or do you not walk into a situation and wait for the right situation, which may never come? Right? Look at Eric Bieniemy. I don't think Eric Bieniemy was a good, was ready to be a head coach, but look at him. Look what happened to him, right? Washington's old coordinator, they walked into a bad spot, and then now he's gone. He went to college, and then now he's on ESPN or whatever show. So it's tough. You have to pick your opportunities and your battles as a black head coach. Now, Antonio Pierce and Jared Mayo, the owner said, I don't think Jared Mayo was ready to be Robert Kraft said, I don't think Jared Mayo was ready to be a head coach. Right? Like, when are you going to be ready? You see other offensive coordinators who have no white coaches, offensive coordinators, no experience at all, get the opportunity. So it's challenging. We hope to see change. We hope that there's more opportunities for black coaches to have truly build. And if they're a black coach, they're all look at Mike Tomlin. Look at Mike Tomlin and Harbaugh on the same exact spot, right? What's the difference between Mike Tomlin and Harbaugh? What's the difference between them? They drafted Lamar Jackson, 31st pick. He was on board. Everybody had a chance to get him, but they got Lamar Jackson. They got the best player we've seen in years in the draft, and the Pittsburgh Steelers didn't. That's the difference between the Pittsburgh Steelers and Baltimore Ravens is Lamar Jackson. That's it. All right, so we'll see what happens, and I hope you got coaches like Todd Bowles who wants to, who was critical in that Super Bowl win, but has a mind. Who knows what's going to happen to him after XYZ years if they just kind of level off in the playoffs. So we'll see what happens. I hope black coaches get more opportunities to rebuild. That's the main thing. That's the same opportunity that white coaches get.